conspiracy theories, the paranormal, UFOs, aliens, and all things strange and unusual. This is Black Lotus. So, big changes today. And on Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Crazy day to decide to change, but I like it. Friday's always been a good day for me, Friday the 13th.
Well, let's hope you're right. I'm telling you. So, folks, so we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, and we're going to be talking about, superstitions in general.
Can you say it?
Kind of, sort of. But first, we have kind of a big announcement we need to make about pop views. And that is, well, we're not going to be pop views anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I had been talking to Ralph about this last week, I guess it was, and
actually about a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, and I said, we're not pop views anymore. When we had originally started out, we were views, reviews, and interviews. And that's really no longer the case. We still do interviews, and we still express our views, and we still do reviews occasionally. But what we found was that our fans tend to like when we talk about conspiracy theories and UFOs and aliens and that kind of stuff.
Strange and unusual.
The strange and unusual. And people tend to enjoy that a lot more. And so we've been gravitating more toward that. And so we are no longer, and at first, again, we were about popular culture. And we talked about popular culture and politics. And we've kind of gotten away from that completely.
Yeah.
And
we still bash on Trump once in a while.
Yeah, because that's you can't help but to do that. But anyway, so we started thinking up a new brand, and so we've completely rebranded, and so now we are going to be known as Black Lotus, and
much more fitting.
Yeah, and the reason behind the name Black Lotus is because the lotus flower has always been used as a tool of meditation, as it were. And what we do is we kind of meditate toward the dark side of things, and the mysterious things that in life. And so I thought Black Lotus was very fitting toward what we're doing. And so anyway, we are, along with the rebranding, we're changing the show format. And so we are going to be doing 3 shows a week now. And we're going to be doing, 2 littler shows, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, yeah. I guess. And then on Saturdays, we're going to have a bigger show, on a big issue. And we're still going to be doing interviews, but the interviews we're going to be having, or with the interviewees, rather, will be discussing things that are strange and unusual, things, UFO witnesses, that sort of thing, people that are into Bigfoot investigations, that kind of thing, UFO investigations, and
ghost hunters,
yeah. So
maybe
anyway,
we can get Anne-Marie even to come back on.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to have her back on. She was great.
Maybe a show that I can actually be in this time.
Yeah.
I missed out on that one last time.
And speaking of the old shows, a couple of days ago, I was trying to get a jump start on this whole thing, and so I was trying to change up the brand on our YouTube channel, and in the process, I did something backwards, and it ended up deleting the entire channel. And so, yeah,
unrecoverably.
Yeah. I mean, irretrievably. Yeah, absolutely. And so the Pop Views page at YouTube is totally gone. So I've had to make a brand new page there, and it's under Black Lotus Productions. So if you were a fan of ours back then, please like and subscribe at the new page, because along with all the videos we deleted, I mean, the entire thing was deleted. And so along with all of our followers and all that. And so, yeah. So, yeah. Nice, huh?
Yeah.
Pat on the back for me. Anyway, so
if you guys can do that, and what we're doing too is we are putting up at least some audio of those shows that we still have from the podcast. Those will be available for the supernatural ones, and the paranormal ones will be available there to listen to on YouTube also.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow process because I have to basically rip the audio from all these things and put it on to basically a still,
Right.
you know, which is it's a long process to do. So I'm thinking I'll do one probably maybe 2 or 3 a week. You know, I can do that. But yeah, it takes a lot of time to do that.
You can always go to Podbean and iHeartRadio and all the other million things and listen to all the interviews and shows on those too.
Yeah, nothing has changed there except for the name. That's changing. But aside from that, that's all still there. So if you want to listen to the audio, it's
100 something shows.
Oh my God, like 140, 50,
150 something, I think.
something like that. Yeah, my God.
Wow.
And they were like 75 videos or so that were just gone. Ugh. So anyway,
but I'm looking forward to this new name, Black Lotus, and the new branding and the new whole format.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good for us, and I think you guys will enjoy it. I mean, we're going to be talking more about the stuff you guys showed that we liked. I've been keeping a big track of the numbers and watching our shows for the last couple of months. And this is what helped in part of the decision. I watched a lot of the shows that we thought were really cool about the movies and some of the interviews and some of the in the balconies and stuff like that. Those kind of started falling as all these paranormal ones started rising up to the top on the list. And it's like, okay, let me see what you want. So here you go.
Yep. You ask for it, you get it. So, and really, I think Ralph and I really enjoy doing these kind of shows, you know, because we both are really into the supernatural and paranormal stuff. And so,
so we're evolving just like everything else paranormal.
I mean, we enjoy doing the movie reviews and that kind of stuff, but you know, we can do without that. I mean, maybe once in a while we'll still do a movie review if it happens to correlate,
right?
You know,
right?
But yeah. So anyway, so yeah, big changes at Black Lotus. It's gonna be hard for me not to say pop views. I've been saying pop views for over a year now. You know, so.
Well, Black Lotus will roll off our tongues just as easily as pop views soon.
Eventually. So anyway, Ralph, what do you say we now that whole announcement's been made, why don't we get into the whole superstitious stuff in Friday the 13th?
Sounds good.
Happy Friday the 13th, by the way.
Yes. And see, to me, like I said, to me, Friday the 13th are usually a good day for me.
Yeah.
And we're usually pretty calm and not a lot of stuff happens, and I don't know why people freak out, but a lot of people do. Yeah,
well, I was reading an article recently, and it was discussing this, and it was saying that even people who are not necessarily superstitious, that they don't necessarily believe in these superstitions, it still sticks in the back of their head that today is supposed to be an unlucky day.
Right.
And so therefore, because of that, because like attracts like, and you attract what you believe or what you think, then you know, things are likely to go wrong, you know, so.
I never understood that. Like attracts like, but then they go opposites attract.
Yeah, well, so. Yeah.
Two opposites there. But yeah, you're right. But if you do, you basically self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking something bad's going to happen, your conscious mind, you know, will say, oh, I'm going to be clumsy anyway, so boom, there you go.
Exactly.
Something happens.
Yeah. I know you did some research regarding Friday the 13th. I didn't do a whole lot of research, but one thing I do know is that Tupac Shakur died on Friday the 13th.
Oh,
I found that out. But I also found out that was the date that was it King? It was the King of France basically put a hit on the Knights Templar on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, a lot of bad things do seem to happen on Friday the 13th for some reason.
So,
but a lot of people say though it's basically comes from religion. You know, it's surrounded by the 13 guests of the Last Supper. The 13th guest, of course, being Judas, who ends up betraying blah blah blah. So that's where a lot of people say that the religious aspect of Friday the 13th and the fear of it comes from. But actually, you know, in Italy, it's totally different. It's Friday the 17th, I think it is. Yeah, Friday the 17th is that they're bad days. They're Friday the 13th.
Why is that?
It's basically because when you put the Roman numerals 17 together, you can switch 2 of the letters around, and it makes the phrase "my life is over." Basically, I have lived, so my life is over.
Really?
Yes, and so that is the day that they fear. Friday the 13th, though, the 13th of any month is a good day. It's a lucky day for Italians.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's lucky for you. Could be.
Yeah, maybe too.
Maybe.
I mean, I do wear my cornicello with my little what is this called? Chili pepper, a little horn. Right. It's the you ever see the where they do the symbol like this for bad? That's to throw away bad luck.
Right.
This is the same aspect of it, supposedly one of the fingers.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same idea.
Like the fork.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So excuse me. We're both here sitting here dry mouthed. Okay, so also in numerology, 12 is a consistent number. You know, there's 12 zodiac signs and stuff like that. There's 12 gods.
Right.
There's 12 labors of Hercules, the 12 tribes of Israel. So all of a sudden you go 13th, you're a little over perfect. So they say that's a bad thing. You've gone beyond what you should go. So that's why they say 13 is also the bad lucky number.
Huh. Interesting.
So, yeah, I thought it was very interesting. But I mean, it's not just this that we fear this. It's to the point where we lose business on that day.
Yeah, I've heard that. Businesses lose millions of dollars on this day.
About 800 to 900 million. That day.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's happened twice this year. This is the second one.
Yeah.
This is our second one.
Well, and I don't know. I don't really get it. I'm not a big superstitious person. I'm really not. But I do have a certain amount of OCD, and I think a lot of superstitions are derived from having OCD.
Right.
And that you have to lock the door 5 times before you feel safe.
I do that.
And it's an OCD thing, and I think that eventually develops into a superstitious thing. But yeah, businesses, I almost didn't want to start Black Lotus on Friday the 13th, even though I'm not a very superstitious person. Again, I think it's something that dwells in the back of your head. And Ralph convinced me, no, it's not, it's fine to do this. And I thought, all right, fine. But yeah, I know businesses lose a lot of money on this day. And I'm looking at one of your notes here, and it states that 17 million people fear Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I don't understand why,
Well, what I think is really strange is that the opposite is actually true in some cases. Like there's a Dutch Center for Insurance. They did statistics, and actually traffic accidents are down on Friday the 13th.
They're down, really?
They're down because everybody's being so careful because it's Friday the 13th, so it kind of makes sense. So maybe it's a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
That we fear things like that.
Yeah.
When I said that in Italy it's the 17th, and in Spain Friday the 13th is okay also. It's Tuesday the 13th that there's the most dangerous year. And there's no reason why. I couldn't find a real answer to that yet, why it's Tuesday the 13th. But it seems like it's also just a Western culture thing. So there's not a lot of other countries that have this particular fear of Friday the 13th.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, I shouldn't say I was thinking that all of them did, but I was thinking because, like they say, some places, like in Italy, it is starting to be a superstition because it's Americanized.
Okay.
And it's starting to spread out to there. But I figured that would just everybody would be afraid of the same day. But no.
Weird.
So, and not only the Friday the 13th, there's so many other superstitions that people are afraid of, like walking under a ladder. They believe that's because you make a triangle and you're walking through the
Is that what it is? I was kind of wondered about that.
Yeah. You're walking below or through the Holy Trinity, and you're breaking it, so thus you get the bad luck.
Okay.
Black cats crossing your path. And I can talk about that one. Of course, everybody thinks it's because of witches, and they're familiar.
Well, that's what I've heard. It's that it's based off of the familiars of witches.
Right.
Is that the?
Oh, that's what they. That's the reason why, and it makes sense. a lot of these superstitions start from way, way back in the days before we understood a lot of stuff, and they've just carried on.
Sure.
You know?
Well, in fact, I see in one of your notes, you have the thing about breaking a mirror, and you get 7 years bad luck on that.
Right.
And I do know that at one time, mirrors were a luxury that were only afforded by the rich.
Right.
And so if one of their servants came along and they broke a mirror, 7 years would be a short time for their bad luck, I would imagine, because they were very expensive. Yeah,
they were very expensive. And they believed back then that the mirrors held a bit of your soul when you looked into them.
Okay.
So breaking them was breaking part of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is one thing I didn't know, that you can actually reverse the bad luck of breaking a mirror.
Can you?
You take a shard of it and you go rub it on a gravestone.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Yeah. Or you have to get every piece of the mirror and grind it up into powder. But you have to get every piece.
Oh,
There's
really?
a making for a good horror movie there.
Yeah, really, right?
I had never heard that one. And of course, no umbrellas inside. Now, nobody knows why we don't do umbrellas on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
There's speculation that a Roman woman happened to open an umbrella just before her house collapsed.
Okay.
And that started the rumor. But that doesn't make much sense to me.
Huh.
One person having a house, that just sounds like a coincidence to me. And there's a tale of a British prince who accepted 2 umbrellas and then within a month or so died after he got those umbrellas.
Really?
But that's it. There's no information. Nobody really knows why we don't open an umbrella in the house. How do we keep superstitions around like this that we don't even know why?
I don't know. And that's one of the things that I think is fascinating about this. I mean, for instance, there's a superstition that I keep myself, and that is that there are no shoes and no hats allowed on the bed. And this is something that my grandmother used to do. I mean,
I've never heard that one.
Really? Yeah. You never put your shoes on your bed, and you never put your hat on the bed. The shoes always belong on the floor, and a hat always belongs on the rack or on your head, one of the two. And you should never wear a hat in the house. And I think that that's just because of manners. But yeah, you don't put a hat and you don't put shoes on a bed. And this is just a superstition that my grandmother had, and it passed on to me. And even though I'm not a very superstitious person, I won't do it. I feel twitchy when I see shoes on the bed.
Isn't it strange how we feel some of that twitch, even though we know it's kind of stupid? But
about a week ago, my wife came home with a brand new pair of shoes, and she brought them home just set them on the bed. And I walked into the bedroom and saw them on the bed, and immediately, nope, got to put them on the floor. And I told my wife, I said, I put those shoes on the floor. She goes, oh, okay. Why'd you do that? I said, because it's just a thing. You don't put shoes on a bed. She was like you. She said, I've never heard of that. But yeah, it's maybe it's an old German thing. I don't know, but it's a superstition that rolls around that you don't put hats and you don't put shoes on bed.
I guess all our little superstitions are handed down from our grandparents and
probably
to our parents to us.
And they say it's bad, and so it just like floats around in the back of your head. So.
Mama said.
Yeah. Or maybe just to make sure, just in case.
The whole time that they really just don't care. They just don't want you getting mud on the bed.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to.
One of the things I found interesting, though, is, of course, when I'm looking up bad luck, good luck stuff came up.
Okay.
And the one that I thought was very interesting I wanted to talk about was rabbit's foot. Now, we all know a rabbit's foot's good luck.
Right.
No one really knows why it's good luck. They think it might have came back from Celtic times.
Not from Celtic times.
Or Celtic.
Celtics are a basketball team. But yeah, not very lucky for the rabbit in any case.
No, not very lucky at all. But did you know that in order for a rabbit's foot to be lucky, it has to be the back left foot of the rabbit. Then it has to be captured or killed in a graveyard.
Why is that? I mean, that's just.
And
talk about specifics.
And it also has to be cut off on the right day, a Friday.
Or it has to be on a Friday.
Right.
No less.
Right.
Wow.
So, where these traditions come from, I don't know, but I never heard that about a rabbit's foot either.
I never heard that. Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting. So.
Yeah.
But there's one other 13 I want to talk about. The Stoner 13. I mean, we got to start off Black Lotus. I mean, there has to be some weed talk.
The Stoner 13?
Yes, you know, the number 13 is a number that stoners relate to.
I've never heard of that.
Really, there's a lot of stoners who have tattooed 13s on them and stuff like that.
Okay.
And the reason being that this is, and I had not known why the number 13 was a stoner until I looked it up, was that the Hells Angels motorcycle gang were advocates of marijuana.
Okay.
And the 13 is the 13th letter of the alphabet, is M.
Okay.
So to show that they supported marijuana use, they all wore 13s and got tatted with 13s, and that has drifted down to the stoner generation.
Really?
And become a popular thing about stoners.
I see a tattoo of 13. I think of MS-13, that Mexican gang.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? That's strange.
I
see 13s and I'm just like, oops, stoner.
So, anyway, we probably need to wrap it up pretty quick today because, like I said, we're going to be doing a couple of short shows a week, and then on Saturdays we're going to do a longer show, and then so tomorrow we are doing a longer show. And it's going to be about, just the other day we were talking about how UFO reports are on the decline. And it seems kind of weird that they are on the decline considering the fact that everybody has a camera in their pocket anymore. But conversely, apparently Bigfoot sightings are on the rise. Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about Bigfoot tomorrow. So that should be kind of an interesting show to do. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get out of here. So, until next time, keep thinking and question everything.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell so you can get a reminder every time we upload a new episode.